Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a fascinating dynamic that often plays out in relationships, why men are drawn to, and sometimes even addicted to, women who detach emotionally. Drawing insights from Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings and motivational perspectives, I'll explore 6 key points that help explain this phenomenon and its underlying psychological, emotional, and energetic factors. Emotional availability plays a crucial role in shaping the dynamics of any relationship, influencing how individuals perceive and connect with one another. When someone displays emotional detachment, it creates an intriguing paradox that can heighten attraction, particularly in romantic dynamics. This concept is deeply rooted in human psychology and neurochemistry, where the interplay of emotions, reward systems, and subconscious patterns come together to create an almost magnetic pull. At the heart of this phenomenon is the human desire for connection, paired with a psychological tendency to be drawn toward challenges. Emotional detachment, whether intentional or unintentional, often creates a sense of unpredictability. This unpredictability can be incredibly alluring because it stimulates the brain's reward system, particularly through the release of dopamine. Dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good chemical, is released when we anticipate a reward or achieve a goal. However, its effects are magnified when the reward is uncertain or inconsistent. In relationships, emotionally detached individuals inadvertently become that unreachable goal, sparking a chase fueled by an instinctive desire to resolve ambiguity and achieve closeness. This dynamic is not solely about the thrill of the chase. Emotional detachment can also signal independence, which is inherently attractive. People who appear self-sufficient and self-reliant exude a sense of confidence that draws others toward them. They seem to be at ease with themselves, comfortable in their solitude, and unbothered by external validation. For many, this kind of independence can be aspirational, even mesmerizing. In a world where so much energy is spent seeking approval or affirmation from others, encountering someone who seems unfazed by external opinions or the need for constant emotional exchange can feel both refreshing and challenging. This independence creates a subtle power dynamic where the emotionally detached individual appears to hold the key to a deeper connection, making others more invested in unlocking it. The interplay between emotional detachment and attraction is further intensified by the emotional contrasts it creates. When someone alternates between moments of availability and withdrawal, it amplifies emotional intensity within the relationship. These highs and lows are deeply memorable and can make interactions feel more meaningful. While this can lead to frustration, it can also create a sense of excitement and longing, as the unpredictable nature of the relationship keeps the other person constantly engaged and invested. For many, this roller coaster of emotions mimics the patterns of excitement and reward found in other areas of life, such as achieving a difficult goal or overcoming a challenge, which adds to its addictive quality. From a psychological perspective, the allure of emotionally detached individuals is also influenced by subconscious patterns rooted in childhood experiences. Many people are unknowingly drawn to relationships that mirror unresolved emotional dynamics from their past. For instance, if someone grew up seeking attention or validation from a distant caregiver, they might unconsciously be attracted to similar dynamics in adulthood, attempting to resolve those early emotional wounds through their current relationships. In this way, emotional detachment becomes not just an external characteristic, but a trigger for internal desires, unresolved emotions, and subconscious habits. The concept of emotional availability also ties into energy dynamics, a topic often explored by thought leaders like Dr. Joe Dispenza. He emphasizes that human interactions are deeply influenced by the energy we radiate. When someone detaches emotionally, they project an energy of freedom and self-possession, which can be magnetic. This kind of energy subtly communicates that they are not dependent on others for their sense of fulfillment or happiness. As a result, others are often drawn to them, hoping to understand or share in this sense of independence and balance. This energy dynamic creates a push and pull effect that heightens attraction and intrigue. Perceived independence is a quality that has a profound impact on attraction, especially in romantic relationships. Independence, in this context, refers not only to the ability to function autonomously in daily life, but also to an emotional self-sufficiency that exudes confidence, stability, and self-awareness. This perception of independence is compelling because it creates a sense of allure, admiration, and curiosity, making the independent individual seem both mysterious and desirable. At its core, independence communicates strength. Someone who is perceived as independent appears to have control over their own life, capable of navigating challenges without relying excessively on others for support. This kind of emotional and mental self-sufficiency signals that they are not seeking a partner to fill a void or complete them, but rather to complement their already fulfilling life. This is inherently attractive because it reduces the likelihood of neediness, a trait that can often feel overwhelming in relationships. Instead, independence fosters respect and admiration, drawing people toward individuals who are secure in themselves. This perception also ties into the idea of scarcity, which is a psychological principle that influences human behavior. When someone appears independent, they may seem less accessible or less dependent on the opinions and actions of others. This perceived scarcity can heighten their desirability, as people tend to value things that are not easily attainable. The independent individual, by their very nature, seems less available and therefore more valuable. This phenomenon explains why individuals who are self-sufficient and emotionally detached can often inspire others to pursue them with greater intensity. So the link between independence and attraction is further reinforced by how independence is often associated with confidence. People who demonstrate self-reliance tend to exude an aura of assurance, which is magnetic in social and romantic contexts. Confidence indicates that someone is comfortable in their own skin, secure in their choices, and capable of facing life's uncertainties with poise. This quality is deeply appealing because it suggests that being with them will be a source of stability rather than volatility. Confidence also encourages admiration, as it reflects qualities that many aspire to embody in their own lives. In addition to confidence, independence can signify emotional maturity. An emotionally independent individual is less likely to depend on their partner for constant reassurance or validation. They are capable of managing their own emotions and are often more resilient in the face of challenges. This emotional stability makes them attractive as potential partners because they bring balance to a relationship rather than instability. Being around someone who is emotionally mature can create a sense of safety and security, fostering a deeper connection built on trust and mutual respect. Another aspect of the allure of perceived independence lies in the mystery it often creates. Independent people tend to have lives that are full and rich, with their own interests, passions, and goals. This creates an air of intrigue and makes others curious to learn more about them. The mystery of a person who is not immediately open or reliant can evoke a desire to uncover their layers, which adds to the attraction. Furthermore, the sense that someone has their own fulfilling life outside of a relationship can inspire admiration and even motivate others to improve themselves. The energetic dynamics of independence also play a crucial role. Dr. Joe Dispenza often discusses how energy and intention shape human interactions. When someone is genuinely independent, they emit an energy of self-assuredness and balance. This kind of energy is magnetic because it suggests a person who is grounded and in harmony with themselves. Others are naturally drawn to such energy, seeking to share in it and experience the sense of stability it brings. The independent individual becomes a beacon, attracting those who subconsciously recognize and value their energy. And that fundamentally is what you are missing. However, the allure of perceived independence is not without its complexities. While independence is an attractive trait, it is essential that it does not cross into the realm of emotional unavailability. True independence should not mean cutting oneself off from connection or refusing to be vulnerable. Rather, it is about striking a balance between maintaining personal autonomy and being open to genuine intimacy. And when independence is paired with emotional accessibility, it creates the foundation for healthy, balanced relationships. Ultimately, perceived independence equals attraction because it reflects qualities that people inherently admire and often aspire to emulate. Independence signals strength, confidence, and emotional maturity, while also fostering a sense of curiosity and admiration. It suggests that a person is whole and complete on their own, making their presence in a relationship a choice rather than a necessity. This balance of self-sufficiency and openness is what makes independence such a powerful and enduring factor in attraction. It reminds us that the most compelling relationships are those where two individuals come together not out of need, but out of a shared desire to enhance one another's already fulfilling lives. Emotional contrast is a dynamic that has a powerful effect on attraction, intensifying feelings and amplifying desire. It refers to the fluctuation between moments of emotional connection and detachment within a relationship or interaction. This roller coaster of emotions creates a psychological and physiological response that can be both exhilarating and addictive. Emotional contrast not only captures attention, but also heightens engagement, making the relationship feel more intense and memorable. Understanding why this phenomenon occurs sheds light on the deeper layers of human psychology and how it shapes our interpersonal connections. If you're not yet familiar with the work of Rohit Wadala and Rohit's study of the mind, which includes contrast and capacity for intensity, Rohit's training in meditation, at the core of emotional contrast is the interplay between predictability and unpredictability. Human beings are naturally drawn to novelty and surprises, as these elements stimulate the brain's reward system. In relationships, when someone alternates between emotional availability and detachment, they create an unpredictable pattern that keeps the other person guessing. This unpredictability triggers the release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, which is associated with feelings of pleasure, motivation, and excitement. The more unpredictable the emotional dynamics, the more dopamine is released, creating a sense of heightened attraction and a desire to pursue the relationship further. This cycle of emotional highs and lows mirrors the principles of intermittent reinforcement, a concept rooted in behavioral psychology. Intermittent reinforcement occurs when rewards are given inconsistently, making the recipient uncertain about when the next reward will come. This pattern has been shown to be more powerful in driving behavior than consistent reinforcement. In relationships, moments of emotional warmth and connection followed by periods of detachment act as a form of intermittent reinforcement, causing the other person to become more invested in the relationship. The emotional ups and downs create a sense of longing and anticipation, making the connection feel more significant and engaging. Emotional contrast also taps into the subconscious need for challenge and achievement. Many people are drawn to situations that require effort and perseverance, as overcoming challenges often leads to a greater sense of accomplishment. When a person alternates between being emotionally available and distant, it creates a sense of challenge that can be compelling. The other person may feel driven to win back their attention or affection, mistaking the pursuit itself for genuine emotional depth. This dynamic can lead to an addictive cycle, where the highs feel intensely rewarding and the lows only fuel a desire to regain the connection. This creates legacies of trauma and can lead to lifetime dysfunction. From a psychological perspective, emotional contrast often resonates with unresolved patterns from the past. For instance, someone who experienced inconsistent emotional availability in childhood may find themselves drawn to similar dynamics in adulthood. This subconscious repetition of familiar emotional patterns can feel simultaneously comforting and challenging, creating a strong pull toward relationships that mirror these contrasts. While this dynamic can be harmful if it perpetuates unhealthy patterns, it can also serve as an opportunity for self-awareness and growth when recognized and addressed. On a deeper level, emotional contrast amplifies desire because it creates moments of emotional vulnerability. When someone alternates between availability and detachment, the moments of connection feel more meaningful and intense. These fleeting instances of intimacy can create the illusion of a deeper bond, even if the overall relationship lacks consistency. The emotional highs become magnified against the backdrop of detachment, making them feel more profound and significant than they might in a more stable relationship. This dynamic also ties into the energy of relationships, a concept often explored by thought leaders like Dr. Joe Dispenza. Emotional contrast creates an energetic push and pull that keeps both parties engaged. The moments of detachment create a space that invites the other person to lean in, while the moments of connection provide just enough validation to keep them invested. This energetic interplay keeps the relationship alive, with tension and excitement, even if it lacks balance or harmony. While emotional contrast can amplify desire, it is important to recognize its limitations and potential pitfalls. Relationships built solely on emotional highs and lows can become exhausting and unsustainable over time. The addictive nature of this dynamic can lead to unhealthy patterns where individuals prioritize intensity over stability. True connection and fulfillment in relationships come from a balance of emotional availability, consistency, and mutual respect. Emotional contrast may create initial attraction, but lasting relationships require a foundation of trust, understanding, and emotional security. Childhood conditioning plays a pivotal role in shaping our emotional patterns, behaviors, and the dynamics of our adult relationships. The experiences we have during our formative years leave an indelible imprint on our subconscious minds, influencing how we perceive love, connection, and intimacy. Now, often these early experiences set the stage for how we approach relationships later in life, sometimes leading us to unconsciously repeat patterns, both positive and negative, that feel familiar, even if they do not serve us well. Understanding the role of childhood conditioning is essential for unraveling these patterns and fostering healthier, more fulfilling connections. At the heart of childhood conditioning is the relationship we have with our primary caregivers. These relationships form the blueprint for how we understand emotional availability, trust, and attachment. For instance, children raised in environments where love and support were given freely and consistently often develop secure attachment styles. These individuals grow up with a sense of self-worth and the belief that relationships are stable and nurturing. On the other hand, children who experience inconsistent or unavailable caregiving may develop insecure attachment styles, such as anxious or avoidant attachment, which can profoundly impact their approach to relationships in adulthood. When caregivers are emotionally inconsistent, offering love and attention at times, but being distant or unavailable at others, children may internalize this unpredictability as a norm. They learn to associate love with a sense of uncertainty and may grow up seeking relationships that mirror this dynamic. In adulthood, they might find themselves drawn to emotionally unavailable partners, repeating the same patterns they experienced as children. This phenomenon, often referred to as the repetition compulsion, reflects an unconscious attempt to resolve past wounds by recreating familiar scenarios in the hope of achieving a different outcome. Childhood conditioning also influences our core beliefs about ourselves and our worthiness of love. For example, a child who receives love only when they excel academically or behave perfectly may internalize the belief that they must earn love through achievements or people-pleasing. As adults, these individuals may struggle to set boundaries or may prioritize the needs of others over their own, fearing rejection if they do not meet others' expectations. Similarly, children who grow up in environments where their emotional needs are ignored or dismissed may develop feelings of unworthiness, leading them to tolerate unhealthy or one-sided relationships in adulthood. Another critical aspect of childhood conditioning is how we learn to express and process emotions. Children who grow up in households where emotions are openly discussed and validated are more likely to develop emotional intelligence and resilience. In contrast, children raised in environments where emotions are suppressed, criticized, or punished may struggle to identify and communicate their feelings. As adults, they may avoid vulnerability, fear intimacy, or experience difficulty connecting with their own emotions and those of their partners. The role of childhood conditioning also extends to the types of partners we are attracted to and the dynamics we recreate in our relationships. For instance, someone who grew up with a critical or demanding parent may find themselves drawn to partners who exhibit similar traits, subconsciously seeking to win their approval or prove their worth. Likewise, individuals who experienced abandonment or neglect in childhood may develop a heightened sensitivity to rejection, leading to patterns of clinginess or an inability to trust their partners. While childhood conditioning can create challenges, it is not a life sentence. One of the most empowering aspects of self-awareness is recognizing these patterns and taking steps to break free from them. By reflecting on the emotional dynamics of our upbringing, we can identify the beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve us. Practices such as therapy, journaling, mindfulness, and self-compassion can help us heal past wounds and develop healthier ways of relating to ourselves and others. Dr. Joe Dispenza often emphasizes the power of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new experiences and thoughts. By consciously choosing different behaviors and challenging old beliefs, we can create new neural pathways that support healthier relationship dynamics. This process requires patience and consistency, but it is profoundly transformative. Ultimately, childhood conditioning shapes the lens through which we view relationships, but it does not define our future. By understanding the impact of our early experiences and cultivating self-awareness, we can rewrite our emotional scripts and create connections that reflect our growth and healing. While the past may inform our patterns, the choices we make today determine the quality of our relationships and the fulfillment we experience in love and life. The energy of detachment is a fascinating and transformative concept that plays a significant role in human interactions, particularly in relationships. Detachment, in this context, does not imply indifference or coldness. Rather, it refers to a sense of emotional balance, independence, and non-attachment to specific outcomes. This energy is deeply rooted in self-assurance and self-possession, qualities that radiate outward and profoundly influence how others perceive and respond to an individual. Understanding the energy of detachment reveals its powerful role in creating attraction, fostering respect, and establishing healthy boundaries. At its core, the energy of detachment communicates that an individual is whole and complete within themselves. People who embody this energy do not seek validation or fulfillment from external sources. Instead, they approach relationships and interactions with an inner confidence that is both magnetic and grounding. This sense of self-assurance signals to others that they are secure in their identity and capable of thriving independently, whether or not they are in a relationship. This independence often inspires admiration and curiosity, making the detached individual seem more appealing. The allure of detachment also lies in its connection to freedom. Energetically detached people exude a sense of liberation from emotional dependence. They are not consumed by the need to control situations or other people, nor are they overly invested in how they are perceived by others. This creates a sense of ease and lightness in their interactions, allowing others to feel safe and unpressured in their presence. This freedom is highly attractive because it fosters a dynamic where relationships are based on genuine connection rather than obligation or insecurity. From a psychological perspective, the energy of detachment aligns with the principle of non-attachment, a concept often emphasized in mindfulness and spiritual practices. Non-attachment is not about avoiding emotions or relationships, but about letting go of the need to cling to specific outcomes. This mindset encourages individuals to remain present and open, allowing relationships to unfold naturally rather than forcing them into predefined molds. People who practice non-attachment tend to radiate calmness, and stability, qualities that draw others toward them. The energy of detachment also ties into the concept of scarcity, which is a powerful psychological motivator. When someone is emotionally detached, they often appear less accessible, creating an aura of exclusivity. This perceived scarcity can make others value their attention and presence more. The less someone seems to need validation or approval, the more their interactions feel intentional and meaningful. This dynamic can heighten attraction, as people are naturally drawn to what feels rare and valuable. From an energetic perspective, detachment allows individuals to maintain their emotional boundaries while still engaging meaningfully with others. Dr. Joe Dispenza often discusses how our thoughts and emotions influence the energy we project. Detached individuals emit an energy of self-assurance and balance, which resonates with others on a subconscious level. This energy creates a sense of harmony, making people feel drawn to them without the need for overt effort or persuasion. It is an unspoken communication that says, "I am complete as I am, and I welcome you to connect with me on equal terms." The energy of detachment also fosters respect. When someone does not rely on others for their sense of worth or happiness, they set a standard for how they expect to be treated. They do not tolerate disrespect or unhealthy dynamics because they understand their value and prioritize their well-being. This self-respect naturally commands respect from others, establishing a foundation for healthier and more balanced relationships. However, it is essential to distinguish between healthy detachment and emotional unavailability. While healthy detachment stems from confidence and self-awareness, emotional unavailability often arises from fear or unresolved emotional wounds. The former creates space for genuine connection, while the latter can create barriers to intimacy. True detachment allows individuals to engage fully with others while maintaining their sense of self, fostering relationships that are both meaningful and free from unnecessary dependency. Spot on. And so that, in turn, rehabilitation, creates space for new and perhaps even more potent freedom. Cultivating the energy of detachment requires self-awareness and intentional practice. It begins with recognizing one's own worth and understanding that happiness and fulfillment come from within. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation, and journaling can help individuals develop this inner balance, right? By focusing on personal growth and emotional resilience, people can learn to let go of the need to control others or outcomes, freeing themselves to experience relationships in a more authentic and enriching way. The call for personal growth is a fundamental and ongoing journey that shapes every aspect of our lives, from our relationships to our career paths and sense of purpose. It is an inner invitation to evolve, improve, and move closer to the best version of ourselves. While this call may manifest in different forms, through challenges, aspirations, or moments of reflection, it always carries the promise of transformation. Embracing this call is not only about achieving goals or success, but also about cultivating self-awareness, resilience, and a deeper connection to our authentic selves. It's a process, of course. Nothing is permanent, no process is perfect, but it's worth it at least. At its core, personal growth begins with self-awareness. Recognizing our strengths, weaknesses, and patterns allows us to identify areas where we can improve and make meaningful changes. This awareness often arises during moments of discomfort or challenge, when life pushes us out of our comfort zones. These experiences, though difficult, are often the catalysts for growth. They compel us to confront our fears, question our beliefs, and explore new possibilities. By facing these challenges with curiosity and an open mind, we can transform adversity into opportunities for self-improvement. One of the key aspects of personal growth is the willingness to take responsibility for one's own life. This means acknowledging that we are the architects of our experiences and that our thoughts, choices, and actions play a significant role in shaping our reality. Taking responsibility empowers us to move away from a victim mentality and toward a mindset of agency and control. So it enables us to stop blaming external circumstances or others for our difficulties and instead focus on what we can do to change or improve our situations. This shift in perspective is liberating and fosters a sense of empowerment that fuels further growth. Another important element of personal growth is the pursuit of self-discovery. This involves exploring our passions, values, and purpose to gain clarity about who we are and what we want from life. Self-discovery often requires stepping outside our comfort zones and embracing new experiences. It may involve learning new skills, exploring different perspectives, or taking risks that challenge our existing beliefs. Through this process, we uncover hidden talents and strengths, develop a deeper sense of self-confidence, and align our lives with our true values. Personal growth also calls for emotional resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and the ability to navigate these fluctuations with grace and adaptability is a hallmark of growth. Resilience allows us to bounce back from setbacks, learn from failures, and maintain a positive outlook, even in difficult times. Building emotional resilience involves cultivating habits such as mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion, which help us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. It also requires embracing vulnerability and recognizing that growth often comes from moments of discomfort and uncertainty. And while that might seem easier at that moment in time, it actually requires a higher level of commitment. The call for personal growth is not just about individual improvement, but also about how we relate to others. Growth enables us to build deeper, more meaningful relationships by fostering qualities such as empathy, communication, and emotional intelligence. As we become more self-awareness and secure in ourselves, we are better able to connect with others authentically and form relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Additionally, personal growth helps us set healthy boundaries, prioritize our well-being, and ensure that our relationships are balanced and fulfilling. Dr. Joe Dispenza and other thought leaders often highlight the connection between personal growth and energy. Growth involves shifting our thoughts and emotions to higher vibrational states, such as gratitude, love, and joy. These elevated states of being not only enhance our overall well-being, but also influence the energy we project to the world. By aligning our energy with positive intentions and focusing on personal growth, we create a ripple effect that impacts not only our own lives, but also those around us. The journey of personal growth is continuous and multifaceted. It requires commitment, patience, and a willingness to embrace change. It is not always linear, and setbacks are a natural part of the process. However, each step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming the person we aspire to be. Growth is not about perfection, but about progress and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Ultimately, the call for personal growth is an invitation to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and authenticity. It encourages us to rise above limitations, transcend old patterns, and step into our full potential. By answering this call, we open ourselves to endless possibilities and discover the profound joy that comes from evolving into the best version of ourselves. Personal growth is not just a destination, but a way of life, a journey that enriches our experiences and helps us create a meaningful and impactful existence. And personal growth is what you want diligently,